welcome to another episode of Chapters on Armstrong Television. This is the coolest show because it gives me an opportunity and you an opportunity to learn about authors, editors, and publishers all across the country. But today we've got something really different. We have with us a guest who is opening a new bookstore in Barboursville, West Virginia. It's called Booktenders WV. There are two owners, Ashley Skeen, who's with us today, and Mandee Cunningham. And I'm sorry that she couldn't be with us today. But Ashley tells me that she's the talker in the group, so she's got plenty to tell us. Thank you so much for coming.
You're
It was
welcome.
a delight to have you here. Okay, tell me a little bit about yourself and then about Mandee and what your background is and how you met.
Sure. So Mandee and I both have pretty varied backgrounds. We worked all these different jobs. I've managed retail stores, worked in the service industry, and Mandee's been a forensic accountant. She's worked as a manager at the movie theater. So it's funny, we have all these different life experiences that have kind of made us perfect to own a business.
Yeah,
so
right.
it all worked out perfectly. But we met when I moved back to Huntington 10 years ago. And we've been bartending together at Summit Beer Station for the past 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
Hence the name of the bookstore, Booktenders.
Uh-huh. Okay, so where are you from? Are you from here originally?
I am, yes.
And then where did you move to? And
I was in North Carolina for 8 years and then in Colorado for 8 years.
what brought you back here?
My parents.
And how about Mandee?
Mandee spent a few of her early childhood years in Texas, but she's lived in Huntington since she was, I think, 7, 8.
Are you
Yeah.
in Barboursville or in Huntington?
In Huntington. We both grew up in Huntington.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what made you choose Barboursville as your location?
It's funny, it kind of chose us. A friend of ours mentioned that he was developing a building right there on Central Avenue. And one night he mentioned to me, he made a joke to me, "Oh, do you want to open a coffee shop?" And very offhand, I said, "My dream has always been to open a bookstore." And his eyes lit up and he said, "I would love to have a bookstore there." And then Mandee came into work there. This all happened at the bar, and she came into work, and I told her what had happened. And her eyes lit up, and she said, "Let's do it." And I said, "Oh no, we're opening a bookstore." So it wasn't like we said we want to open a bookstore and looked for places. The place was available, and we filled it with our idea.
So are you either one of you both avid readers? I think I read that one of you had read like 9 books in the last month or
Yeah,
something.
I generally read about 100 books or more a year.
Wow.
I read a lot, and Mandee's an avid reader as well, and just has a beautiful library in her house. Even, yeah.
Yeah. Any particular genre that you gravitate to?
I'm a big reader of literary and contemporary fiction. I mostly read fiction. Mandee reads a lot of fiction. She also she likes graphic novels, and she probably reads more nonfiction than me.
See.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be a good mix.
Yeah,
You all have
exactly.
your favorites, so forth,
Yeah.
so to speak. I think it's really interesting that even though Amazon seems to be the giant in the world when it comes to selling everything, but particularly books, which is where they started, that indie bookstores have actually been on the rise in the last 3 or 4 years. So that bodes well for you all. And I'm glad to see you all kind of join in the ranks. Did that factor into your decision to try and open this store?
Yeah, 5 years ago, I would never have taken this leap, just with the trend of how bookstores were doing. But yes, with the research, the pandemic, I think gave a lot of people perspective on how important local businesses were and how important it was to support them. And I think a lot of people started reading more during pandemic and rediscovered a love of books. So indie bookstores are on the come up, and we're excited to jump on that trend.
Yeah.
And with technology, we already have a website up and going. So instead of going to Amazon, people can go to our website and order a book, and it will be shipped out to them just like Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They don't have to come to the store to pick it
Nope.
up.
No.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's a good
And it might cost a little more because obviously Amazon can offer
discount.
deals that local businesses can't, but then it's what is keeping a local business afloat worth to you? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We all develop like a mailing list of customers so that when you have maybe some event in the store, you'll be able to contact them.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a newsletter, and we'll create, we have a Facebook page, and we get very active responses on there, so we can create events on there and get the news out that way.
All right. Tell us how to find you on Facebook. It's called Facebook. No, excuse me. It's called Booktenders WV.
Just Booktenders, yeah.
Okay.
And then you can look. Our logo is a green triangle, so that'll help you find us.
Okay.
But Booktenders, we kind of looked around. We were able to get that domain name for everything. So I don't know if anyone else out there is called Booktenders.
That's
and then
pretty cool.
Our website is booktenderswv.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they just need to like the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then they'll be able to see all the posts.
Yep.
So forth. And the address in Barboursville.
621 Central Avenue.
Okay. So a landmark that might help you find it would be.
It's right across from Main Street on Central, or the former Black Hawk Grill. A lot of people still recognize that.
Yeah.
But we are kind of right next to a parking lot. There used to be a barber shop in our location.
Now, would you all be able to use that parking
Yes.
lot? Is that
Yeah,
that's
it's
good?
open public
Okay.
parking.
How big will the store be?
It is nearly 1,500 square feet.
Wow, that's good
The
size.
first 1,000 feet is going to be books and our bar where we'll have coffee and tea and wine and a beer. And then there's a little drop down into the back 500 square feet, and that is going to be a dedicated lounge space.
Now, what do you intend to do with that?
Book clubs can host their meetings there. People can just hang out and read and look through books and drink a glass of wine. We'll have author events there. But one part that we're really excited about, they installed 2 garage doors. So on nice days, it'll technically be like an open air patio
Oh, that's
almost.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so as an author, I'm hearing you say author events.
Yeah.
So will you have readings and things like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Book launches?
We've already got 3 planned.
Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic. That's great. That's great. What is your tentative opening date? I don't want to hold you to something.
Right.
Can't
We all
do
know
it.
how it goes when you try to make plans, but we are hoping to be open by the end of April. Record Store Day is on April 23rd, and our neighbors Orbit's Record Shop, and they're putting on a really cool event for that, so we hope to be open for that. And our target date, long ago, we found out that Independent Bookstore Day is April 30th. So
Oh,
we
fantastic.
really want to be open for
Yeah.
Independent Bookstore Day.
Right, no
Yeah.
question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have something grand planned for that day? Other than being out there in the street and, just open your doors, you got.
The mayor said he'll cut a ribbon for
Oh,
us.
good.
But that's about it.
Yeah, right. Once you announced that you were going to do this, I noticed that you had sort of an unusual plea on your Facebook page to help get it started. Tell us about that.
Oh, our crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
This is a really cool way to celebrate and support your local bookstore.
as you know, first-time business owners have a hard time getting a loan because everyone wants you to be in business for a year. It's how can we be in business for a year if we don't have any capital to do so? And so it's really tricky. You can see why it's hard for a lot of people to open businesses and stay in business. So while looking for a loan, we also got the idea to do what's called crowdfunding. And basically, it's giving the public a chance to invest in their community. They're not getting shares or anything, but they're donating to us for startup funds because this is something they want in their community. But we did offer some perks for our campaign. So, for example, if you donated $10, you'd get a free cup of coffee the first time you came into the store. We had specific logo t-shirts and tote bags and coffee mugs and things like that. And then we had some kind of higher amounts, like a $750 donation, you could take over the bookstore and have a private event in there, and things like that. And it went really well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you made your goal?
Well, not exactly, but we
you
got
got-
really close, and we had a very generous matching donor. So once on our last day, we had 18,500, and
That's
the donor
good.
matched that.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes, yeah.
fantastic. That is good.
Yeah,
That's real support.
it's real
That's
support.
terrific. That's
We were
good.
overwhelmed with gratitude.
Now, will you be selling just new books, or will you sell old books as well?
Just new books.
Just
Yep.
new books, okay. And I hope that you're going to have a regional author section.
Oh
maybe?
yeah. We already have one of your books,
Oh,
actually.
good. All right, that's good. That's good.
We're working with
I'll
Mount.
provide you the others too.
Okay, all right. We are working with Mountain State Press and WVU Press to get just we really do want to have a very robust local author and interest section.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So most people don't probably realize that most bookstores go through an independent distributor
Mm-hmm.
rather than taking books directly from the publisher or
Right.
the author. Will you all be doing that? It's called Ingram, or will you be doing?
We're
from
using Ingram, yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
eventually we do want to get closer relationships with all the different publishers, but right now it's just so much easier to go
Sure.
through Ingram.
Right,
Because they kind of have it all in one place.
Right. And so when authors want to put their books in there, will they be bought or will they be on consignment?
We haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
That's something we need to get to, because we have had a couple people reach out. So we haven't figured that out yet.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, we'll stay tuned for
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So, you all are the booktenders
Yes.
as opposed to the bartenders.
Yes.
Will you be hiring other staff?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're going to try to do it on our own and just run it, the two of us.
Yeah. Do you know what hours you'll be open yet?
I think we'll be closed on Mondays, and then during the week, probably something like 11 to 7, maybe open an hour later on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, good. So you'll be selling coffee,
Mm-hmm.
tea, wine, beer. Sounds perfect to me. What about any kind of food items? No food items?
No.
That gets messy when
I
you're
know,
reading books.
I
doesn't it? Yeah, I understand.
And
That's
especially
good.
with us trying to do it all ourselves.
Yeah,
and
who's gonna
and-
cook, right?
Right, yeah. I don't want to cook.
Right, I understand, I understand. What's your vision for what you hope it'll be in, say, 5 years down the road?
Oh, man. We just want to survive the next few months, I think, at this point.
Right.
But I remember, I love bookstores. They're my happy place. And I know Mandee feels the same way and would echo me if she were here. But when I travel, I go on Yelp and I look for indie bookstores. And just when I'm in a bookstore, I'm at peace. I love looking through the titles and seeing what they have and seeing the staff picks and seeing what people are reading. And that's what we want to create for our community. And a place where the written word is truly celebrated with these author events, and even just having a lounge where two people can sit down and start talking about what they're reading. Like we are opening a business, but the both of us strongly, we want to open a community space as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
You said something just a minute ago that made me think. I've lost what I was going to say, but I think a space like that is something that a lot of people like. I mean, this sounds to me like it's something you've dreamed about.
Yeah.
Before you all ever actually got the opportunity to do it, to
Yeah.
talk about it. How are you promoting the store besides your Facebook page and your website? Will you be, putting out a press release and
Yeah,
like
we
that?
had a story early on in the Herald Dispatch, and we'll probably try to get that going again. But social media, word of mouth, like I run into people all the time. I was at the dentist yesterday, and the woman at the front desk, the technician said, "Well, she's opening a bookstore." She goes, "You're the one. We've been talking about that."
Oh,
So
that's great.
word of mouth has been great, and
Yeah.
seeing how excited people are about this is just so great.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how close to finished is the interior? You got most of it done?
Well,
Or your
we're not
are
doing it.
Your books are all stacked up someplace waiting to be
Our,
put on
our
the
books,
shelves?
right now, Mandy's house is our command center for our actual office.
Right.
And yeah, they're working on the build out now, but they're saying just 2 weeks.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it. I envision,
Me neither.
yeah, I envision it, but I don't, is it going to have like paneled walls, painted walls, lots of bookshelves on the outside, freestanding bookshelves?
Yep.
All of the above.
Well, painted walls. We'll have bookcases, and then kind of little tables in the center with different displays. I really like the flat displays, but we're also doing. Mandy's a big pen and paper fanatic. She's real nerdy about that. She won't mind me saying that. But so we are going to have ballpoint pens, inks,
fun.
quills, nibs, all that stuff, paper. And we've got 2 antique secretaries that Mandy's mom found for us. And so that will display the pen and ink. So it's kind of like put together. I don't like when bookstores are so sterile.
Yeah.
Everything kind of looks the same. So we're kind of piecing it together, but hopefully in
that'll
a
be
way that'll
fun.
just feel comfortable and homey.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you'll bring back the love of writing.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
not writing as in
Writing
books, but
letters, writing
literally writing
notes,
books.
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, that's terrific. And you're doing something on March 24th
Yes.
to promote this.
We're
Tell
having
us
a
about
book fair at a bar.
I love that idea.
Mandy and I'm 43. Mandy's a year younger than me, but we just both had these great memories of the Scholastic Book Fair growing up, and how excited we'd get to go in and shop for books and buy fun little erasers. And so that's kind of the feel we want to bring to our next pop-up shop, but we want to have it at a bar so people can have an adult beverage while they're shopping. So on March 24th from 4 to 9 p.m. at Summit Beer Station, 321 9th Street. And we've got a bunch of books. We put together a big order for this, good variety of books, and we'll also have fun little stickers, lapel pins. We'll have some of our pens and inks and journals and things like that as well.
Oh, you'll be selling journals as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we've got some great journals.
That's great. Okay, March 24th.
Yes.
Summit Beer Station.
Yes.
4 to 9.
Yep.
Scholastic Book Fair for adults. That's cool. That's cool. You did a pop-up thing at HerdCon recently.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
I was just telling Rain earlier, she's an old pro at this, and it was our first time, and I said, everything that went wrong pretty much did.
Oh, no.
But it was such a good learning experience, and that crowd there is so nice and so patient that, we are kind of able to work through all of our little technicalities with our operating system, and it was a great time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people either learned about us or came up and said they were excited for us to open, and we felt very supported.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I assume you'll have all kinds of credit cards and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you'll take
Yep.
cards, checks,
Yep.
all that good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about you in
Okay.
general. What kind of books do you like to read? You said fiction. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite author?
Favorite author. I really enjoy Kristen Hanna. I enjoy reading kind of a big variety of authors. I love Lily King. I just finished a wonderful book today called Notes on Execution. Have you heard of that? Mm-mm. It's terrific. So I really read around the board. I don't really revisit authors too much, to be honest, because a lot of times I love a book and then I'll read another one and be a little bit let down. So I read across the board, and I normally enjoy things set kind of in the current time, and getting into books read or written by underrepresented authors. Learning about different cultures that way, learning about lifestyles are different than mine through the novel.
You said something about staff picks that you see those in other stores. Will you all do that in yours?
We will, and that was actually a fun perk that we offered during our crowdfunding campaign. For a donation of $50, people got to pick 3 staff picks.
Oh,
So they got
fun.
to be our honorary staff since there's only 2 of us to make the picks. And so those have been rolling in over email lately, and
Well,
it's
that's
been
good.
really fun to read those and see what people are recommending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah. So how do you decide? I mean, I know there's Publishers Weekly and there's all these magazines about what's out new. I get Forward Review, all that sort of thing. How do you choose? I mean, there's 1,000 books that come out a week out of there. How do you choose what to put in the store?
I think that's something we're still figuring out, and that'll be a little bit of a once we open, seeing what people are asking for that we don't have, or seeing that we're selling, and kind of learning from our customers what they want us to carry. The Indie Next list are really, I feel like their picks are usually
Indies,
Indie Next, yeah. And I'm on Bookstagram. I don't know if it's Instagram, but just for books. I've been on that for about a year, and just that's a great source for finding reads because people write reviews and say you'll like it if you like this sort of thing. Here are some possible trigger warnings. So that's been a great.
Well, that's not an app I know, so I'll have to check
Well,
that
it's
out.
just Instagram. And if you type in hashtag Bookstagram, you'll just get flooded. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah,
I'm part of a book club on there, and me and these women talk every day.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So, not necessarily all New York Times bestseller list, because those tend to all be the big publishers, and it's what somebody's pushing, but maybe it's not the best book in the world.
Right.
So if you're trying to represent sort of underrepresented
Yes.
authors, the indie list is much more to
Yes.
your liking.
Yeah, we definitely, that's kind of when we started talking about our niche early on. We decided we wanted to have a heavy focus on underrepresented authors, and yeah.
That's good. So will your bookshelves and so forth be divided like by genre, like history, fiction, romance, science fiction, so forth and so on?
Yeah,
Okay.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
I guess
You're not real
when
sure
we
yet,
when
are
we
you?
get in there and unpack those hundreds of boxes or
Right.
whatever, say, okay,
Yeah.
where is this gonna go?
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
sure
tough.
we'll change it
Yeah.
around constantly
Right.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a learning process for us, and I think we know what we're doing, but we'll find out, right?
Yeah, right. Did you have to come up with a whole business plan, or did you
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of, yeah?
Yeah.
How long did it take you all to, once you started with the idea that, gee, not going to be bartenders anymore, we're going to be booktenders, then how long did it take you to come to the conclusion that, okay, we think we've got our heads together now and can probably do this?
The idea started in July, and it
So
wasn't
not even a year.
It wasn't until December that we announced to the public that this is what we were doing.
That's not very long,
It's
really.
it's not very long, but
Yeah.
it was one of those things. You could come up with a million reasons not to do it, and it's just one of those things. I felt like if we said no, we'd both be just kind of shooting down this dream. So why not try it?
I think that's wonderful.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm excited about it.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait to come up and see how it's going. Let's see if there's anything. What about Mandee? What is she's gonna? If you're the fiction kind of guru and she's the nonfiction guru, how is that mix gonna work in the store? Do you think, in terms of percentages?
We work together. I feel like we're pretty in line with how we want the books distributed. Ingram sends you this thing called a Rossi Grid or a Rossi Grid, which is this super complex spreadsheet about how you're going to place that first book order. And so it was, a couple weeks of she and I going back and forth, and it breaks it down into the smallest percentages. And together we just kind of said, this is how much we want this category represented and this category, and we're pretty in line with that stuff, with our vision, which is we're kind of starting to have this mind meld.
Did you visit other independent bookstores to see kind of how theirs was set up, or did you just say, no, I don't want to copy anybody, I just want to do what we do?
I think we both had in mind bookstores that we love and have visited in the past and have those in mind. But when we kind of started getting serious about it, we went to the Coffee Tree Books in Moorhead, Kentucky.
Okay.
And looked around there and talked to the owner. Bookstore owners are awesome. I'm not just saying that because I'm one, but we've gotten so much. It's not a competitive, we don't want competition.
Right.
It's this, we'll
That's
all
true.
grow together.
Yeah.
Which is just a really beautiful thing to see.
That's great.
Yeah.
I am so excited for this
Thank
project.
you.
I cannot
Thank you.
wait
We
to
are
see it.
too.
Just thank you so much for coming.
You're
This
welcome.
is Ashley Skeen and her partner who couldn't come because she has a sinus infection, Mandee Cunningham. And they are the Booktenders, and we can't wait for their store to open in Barboursville. So keep your eye on their Facebook page, their website, the newspaper, and show them all the love you can. And this is Carter Seaton saying thanks for being with us today, and be sure to stay tuned to Armstrong for all the news and views that you need. Bye.
Connect with Chapters through email. Write to lp4@zoominternet.net. Chapters has a Facebook page at Armstrong Chapters. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. All Chapters episodes are available on YouTube. Visit the Armstrong Neighborhood channel on YouTube and look for a playlist of all the Chapters programs.